And King Bhima then sends out the message to all the great kings and the princes and invites them to attend the Swayamvara of Damayanthi. At this time, a celestial stage, Narada and Parvata, who were roaming around, pays a visit to Lord Indra. So Lord Indra is a celestial or a heavenly body, and he is associated with rain. And Lord Indra asks sage Narada about the general well-being of the world, and then he asks why the kings haven't visited him yet. They normally come to pay him a visit from earth. At this, sage Narada says about Damayanti's Swayamvara and how her beauty surpasses all the women on earth. So every king on earth craves to attain her, and thus they all have gone to attend this royal Swayamvara. This was discussed in the presence of the Lokapalas. The Lokapalas are celestial gods, and in this context, the celestials that were present were Lord Indra, Agni, Yama, and Varuna. On hearing these words from Narada, the Lokapalas said they'd like to go to for Damayanti's Swayamvara and that she should choose one of them as her husband. So the Lokapalas get in their vimanas, which is basically an ancient aircraft, and they course to earth to the kingdom of Vidarbha, where Damayanti's Swayamvara is said to take place. At the same time, the overjoyed Nala is also proceeding to the kingdom of Vidarbha, and he's quite confident that Damayanti will choose him over anybody else. On the way to the kingdom, the Lokapalas spot Nala, and as soon as they see him, their confidence is diminished. They are unsure if they are still capable of attaining Damayanti. He's so handsome and he has such great qualities that he was surpassing the celestials. So the Lokapalas devise a plan. The Lokapalas, which is Lord Indra, Agni, Yama, and Varuna, approach Nala descending from their Vimana and ask him for a promise of becoming their messenger. Nala first asks who they were and what should he do for them. Lord Indra says who they were, introducing themselves, and then they ask Nala to go to Damayanti and inform her ahead of the Swayamvara that she should choose one of the Lokapalas as a husband. On hearing this, Nala is taken aback and he tells them that this may not be possible because he's also going to Vidarbha with the same intention of getting Damayanti as his wife. And on hearing this, the Lokapalas remind him that firstly he made a promise and he can't take his words back. So Nala agrees to their wish reluctantly, and then he says while he can go there, he may not be able to enter her palace as it will be strongly guarded. On hearing this, the Lokapalas give him some kind of power to enter Damayanti's quarters without being noticed by the guards. With the power given by the celestials, Nala enters Damayanti's quarters, not noticed by any of the guards. Damayanti's friends see him and they become speechless on seeing him and how handsome he is, and they all desire for him too. And they're all wondering, who's this guy, and is he a yaksha, a god, a gandharva? And Damayanti is also wondering the same, and then she asks Nala who he is and how did he end up entering the quarters without being seen by the guards. At this, Nala says that he is Nala and how he came here with the message from the celestials about choosing one of them as a husband during the Swayamvara, and how with their powers bestowed by them, he was able to enter her quarters without being noticed by anybody. On hearing this from Nala, Damayanti bows to the god as a symbol of respect and says how much she loves Nala, and says to him that if he rejects her, she may have to end her life, as she can't think of a life with anybody else other than Nala himself. On hearing this, Nala says how can she choose a mortal man over the lords of the world, that is the celestials, and by doing this she may also cause the displeasure of the Lokapalas, which is Indra, Agni, Varuna, and Yam, and says that it can also lead to the end of his life if he angers them. Then Damayanti says to Nala with tears in her eyes, I have a way that no sin will be brought to you. And that no blame will be attached to Nala. And she says to him that you all come to my Swayamvara tomorrow with the celestials, and in the presence of the celestials, I will choose you, and therefore no sin will be attached to you. After this, Nala leaves Damayanti's palace and he goes back to the Lokapalas to convey the message from Damayanti and tells them everything that had happened and how Damayanti is very much determined in her mind about choosing Nala over anybody else, including the celestials. And he tells them it's up to them to decide what they want to do. So finally, it's the grand Swayamvara day. It's the day and it's a big day, and all the kings of the earth are waiting eagerly, and secretly everyone is wishing that Damayanti would choose one of them as her husband. And then the beautiful Damayanti, she walks into the court, and as soon as she comes into the court where the Swayamvara is taking place, it fills up with her beauty and her radiance. The names of all the kings were read out loud, and at that moment, Damayanti notices 5 men who were all identical to Nala in their appearance. So what happened here was, when Nala went back to the celestials, Indra, Agni, Yama and Varuna,